Unfortunately. Oh, that's kind of cool. Announces all spawns possible. That way people know what's up. That's kind of neat. That's actually a pretty awesome feature to the map, because if you guys don't know, players often do come into these tournaments, and because so many tournaments use so many different maps, they don't actually know which ones are which. So that's kind of neat. At any rate, it's a brand new best of one. Let's see actually what. One sec. Where is this here with the brackets? Oh, Snipebot's bracket link. Hang on. Edit com. Brackets. There we go, sorry. Just making sure everyone in chat's updated. Of course, if you're watching the VOD of this, come hang out with us on Twitch live sometime. We have a pretty awesome set of games to be had. This is round 3 for those who don't know. This is still best of 1. There's one more best of 1 after this, and then the best of 3s begin. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, spawning here in the lower left corner of the map, spawning Protoss, spawning red, it is the German player, best known as KnowMe. And his opponent in the upper left, a Korean player temporarily on the Team Alien Invasion. It is Ghost. Ghost is kind of a curious player first off, because he seems to be a fan of Base Trade TV, which is awesome and weird, because I know a lot of Korean players don't actually come and watch. Like they don't, well, they'll watch the channel, but they mute it, of course, because they don't understand English or whatever. But Ghost tells me he watches the channel all the time. He really likes it, of course, in broken English, and he's a really nice guy. So definitely got some love out for him. Now, in this series, I don't actually know how KnowMe's PvP is. In fact, this might be the first PvP I've cast of KnowMe. I see the question mark. I've cast him several times in the past. Of course, most notably, KnowMe has some really cool ZVP, special tactics, and what have you. But PvP could be a whole nother can of worms. I don't know. But he has left the probe hidden in the base for the time being, scouting out, making sure there's no hidden pylons, no hidden tech. As Ghost was a little bit delayed taking that second one. Nothing crazy, of course, but KnowMe, on the other hand, is not taking a lot of gas. He's got both geisters down, but not mining anything. There we go, now 2 and 2. I don't, maybe a small mistake there. So nobody opening 2 gas heavy, that's perfectly fine, because of course you open gas heavy, you're going to want to go towards those higher tech paths. You kind of give it away by doing that. Big thing too is, by KnowMe leaving the probe here, there's the possibility of putting a pylon down. Unlikely that this will be successful or get anything done, but it does mean he comes back for a scout and continues to make sure that he knows exactly what Ghost is building. Now, while I can't talk too much about KnowMe's PvP, I can talk about Ghost, and he's pretty darn good at the early, not necessarily all-ins, but you know, that sort of stalker poke into aggression, into falling back, into building immortals, and then having that second big engagement to win the game type thing. Don't know what KnowMe's necessarily going to do here. Still just kind of keep an eye on that probe, see what it's going to be up to. He's not chronoing out warp tech, so I mean, it's not like he's going for a 4-gate that he's gonna super try and hide in the base. In fact, Ghost might even see the, no, it doesn't see the probe. Okay. Alright, well, the Stalker's gonna find it now. Coincidence, accident, whatever.
First blood.
Ugh. Alright, so KnowMe doesn't get the full skill off that he wants to, but behind this, Ghost is going to go for a Stargate. That would have been a fantastic thing for KnowMe to scout, because of course, by doing this, you either make your own Stargate, or you stay turtled up at home and make sure, okay, that Oracle / Phoenix Wrath isn't going to end my game. By opening with a Stargate, by the way, and your opponent does not, it's not necessarily a builder to win or loss, but what it does allow you to do is contain your opponent if done correctly, to the point where you expand, you get ahead economically, and suddenly your gateway count is just out of control and they can't even keep up with it. But yeah, Oracle will be seen at the very least. Unfortunately, Mothership Core is not able to shoot up, so Ghost Oracle should just run past, but to the mineral line down here. That's going to put a little bit of panic in KnowMe. But this is a lot of Zealots. You may actually need to keep the Oracle at home. Stalker for Stalker, Zealot for Zealot. KnowMe's a little bit outclassed here. Doesn't have his own Mothership Core, 3 Stalkers, a couple probes are pulled, and the Oracle does not come home to defend. Cost him one of his Stalkers, trying to fight in that time warp. Zealot's doing a ton of damage underneath this. And if Ghost had left that Oracle at home, maybe he cleans this up a little bit better. But unfortunately, KnowMe even sneaks a probe by. Down to 15 workers. How many killed so far? 11 workers killed. Can Ghost match that? Looks like not, because there's Stalkers warping it at home. This is going to have to fall back if he... this is sort of the container I was talking about that he needs to have. Probes will scrap fight this down, and Ghost. Oh no. Not a situation where he wants to lag out at. Will clean this up, luckily, and he saw the 3 warping, so he knows he doesn't have to keep the probes here. If KnowMe didn't warp in those stalkers at home, these gateways would be off cooldown, and you'd have to put the probes on this to make sure this died in due time. But despite how aggressive that got and how many workers were killed, Ghost not in a better spot for it. If the Oracle gets some kills to even this up, then maybe he pulls back into this. But again, that's 14 workers he's going to have to get. That will not be easily accomplished. And of course, the Oracle is going to go down, and ooh, this puts Ghost in a really rough spot. Now it's 13 workers to 17. Not nearly bad as 13 to 22. But that being said, this is not a spot you want to be in. Every chrono you use is going to have to go towards... Well, it's actually, as you see, go towards making probes. So he's making another Oracle. I guess a big part of his hesitation was not having the resources for it earlier. And that's whatever. That's fine. He's going to have to go straight to his opponent's mineral line once again. But this time, KnowMe will have an overcharge available, I believe, by the time he gets over here. You know, energy timing and all that. His stalker should even get this coming too. So shouldn't be too much of a problem. Ghost... not like he's got the minerals to... Oh god, if he could go for an expand, this would be like one of those few times you riskily try and do it and get away with it, because KnowMe's not going to be moving out. He has to worry about this Oracle. And as long as Ghost keeps this alive, as long as he doesn't get this killed, it's a constant threat that KnowMe can never ignore. But if he loses the Oracle, this is kind of like his salvation thing to get back into this game. I mean, he's not out, but he's behind in a big way. Army supply looking so good for KnowMe. He's got the Immortal, he's got some Stalkers, and of course that Mothership Core. Meanwhile, Ghost has got this. Well, I guess 3 Stalkers and in the middle of the map too, but still, that's 3 Stalkers versus the might of that of KnowMe. Outclassed in Stalker numbers, the Immortal behind this too. Even if he comes back home and fights in full, which looks like he won't. Another Stalker goes down in the middle, waiting for that Oracle to come back in. Overcharge did go off on the Nexus. Can this get enough kills? Down to 17-16. Suddenly Ghost pulls ahead, but he's still so far behind an army supply. This Sentry force field is going to be so critical. Blink is on the way here for KnowMe, but this force field is going to buy Ghost all the time in the world. Suddenly in a much better spot than he was before. Had to throw away a lot of resources to finally even up those workers killed, but KnowMe is not going to be dissuaded by this. Still pushing forward, has a Warp Prism to follow this up. Might just try an Elevator and Immortal up, I don't know, but force field needs to go down. Ooh, I don't think that force field does anything. Ghost, what are you doing, man? What was that force field? Yikes. Alright, we're still going to try and take a fight here. I don't like this out of Ghost. I think the top of his ramp was probably his best friend. We'll take out the Immortal, though. Oh, no! Why is he not finishing off the Immortal? Oh! What a mistake. Now 5 Stalkers to 4 and a Zealot. Going to warp in another couple here. And again, this ramp, if he had a Sentry, he could possibly hold this. Might need to pull some workers against this. But that could be his lead going away once again. KnowMe is going to retreat down the ramp, but as long as Ghost doesn't chase, he should be in an okay position to fight. Again, high ground vision is a hell of a thing to have on your side. But Zealot is getting a little bit greedy. Should get picked off here on the retreat. Blink just now finishing up, I believe, too, or just in a second's time. Sorry, I was looking at the unit, still trying to keep an eye on the Stalkers, but oh man, that force field, that Immortal, that I love Ghost, but man, that was a mistake. Is he really gonna call GG? No. What? Why? I don't think that he needed a GG there. Hang on, let's take a look at this real quick. 7 Stalkers to 7, 20 to 20. He was behind in Blink Tech purely and entirely. He even had even worker count. Ghost, no, why did you do that? Okay, well, whatever. An abrupt end to that game. What the f... I'm not a PvP expert. If someone in chat wants to correct me on why that was so obvious that he should have GG'd, I'll gladly take it. But what the fuck?